Well, we'll see. Thank you, Johanna. Good to hear your voice. And welcome, everyone. Wherever you're listening, whenever you're listening, we're honored by your presence. Please remember that what I'm going to share as sort of an overview is kind of the Cliff Notes version of the spiritual law for this week. The full version with all the details and all the how to do it are in the YouTube version of this same spiritual law. So if this is interesting to you at all, go there for the whole story. And this is also a question and answer and comment time. If you have a comment, you don't have to be here to give it. And if you want to have a question, you don't have to be here to ask it. You can send it in, and we will read it online and do our best to answer it, then post that call, and you can listen to your answer at your convenience. But yeah, today's spiritual law is, you ever feel like you're stuck in the mud? You ever feel like you take, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back? In other words, do you ever feel like you're not getting anywhere? Or it's taken way too long? Or how comes this works for other people and not for me? And all of that sort of thing. Well, all of us have felt that, right? I mean, I felt that a number of times in my life. The question is, are you stuck? Or is your negativity about the issue actually your biggest problem? And I believe that's true a lot of times, and I'll try to explain that really quick. We live in a microwave world, at least for the last 30 years. And I'll never forget when microwave ovens came out. And we were all just flabbergasted that this was even possible. I mean, this is like Star Trek stuff when microwave ovens first came out. You mean nothing even gets hot, and there's no flame, and there's no heat, electricity, there's nothing. All it is energy in there that's heating the food up like 10 times faster than if I had to do the oven. And it was absolutely an overnight phenomenon, and in no time, man, if you don't have a microwave, man, how can you not have a microwave? It was game-changing technology. But that's what we want. We want instant. We want microwave. If we have a headache, we want to take a Tylenol and the headache be better in 20 minutes. And the other thing is that we live by our feelings. And it's been amazing to me with my clients over 30 plus years now. And with a lot of them, I would ask, do you think you live more by your feelings or your thoughts and words? And I would roughly guess that probably 60% thoughts and words, 30 or 40% feelings. Well, they're wrong. With every one of them, it's feelings. With you, it's feelings. With me, it's feelings. Because the feelings come from the heart, which is your unconscious, subconscious, ancestry, plus some other stuff. And your unconscious is more than 1 million times more powerful than your conscious mind. Okay? So anytime your unconscious agrees with you, which is the feelings place, it just tidal waves your words and thoughts and details and 1 + 1 = 2 linear stuff. I mean, it doesn't even have a chance. So then you make the decision based on feelings, but then explain it and rationalize it, typically using words, okay? And the reason I think a lot of times we get stuck is because we're living from our feelings, but the latest research says that about 50% of those feelings are in error. In fact, the best research on it I've seen from Scientific America said it'd be more accurate to call your memories illusions than memories if we're actually trying to be accurate by the definition of the words, which means at least half of the feelings you have about what's going on in your life are wrong. Well, that's flip of a coin. That means on any issue, at any time, in any day, I could be acting and reacting to something that isn't even true and doing the wrong thing. Okay? And I believe that's why so many of us do the wrong thing. You know you should eat lots of vegetables and fruits and not too much fat, and you know you should exercise. Are you doing it? You get a job with an insurance company and they tell you if you make 10 calls, you'll make 1 sale. So you got to get used to those 9 rejections and just for the next 20 years, make 10 calls a day and you'll make 1 sale and you'll be wealthy at the end of your life. And you know what? Statistics say that is absolutely true. But how many people can't do it? They can't make themselves make those calls. Well, that's because their heart is 1,000,000 times more powerful and saying, no, 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 no. We are not going to get rejected 9 out of 10 times every day. That is not going to be good for us. We're not going to be happy living that way. Okay? But part of the problem is our misperception about how things work when it comes to source healing. I had 2 clients come to me, this had to be 15 years ago, and they were more alike than any 2 clients I'd ever had who came to me like at the exact same time. They were both 45 years old, both white males, both had had migraine headaches for almost exactly 15 years, the same severity, same frequency, everything. The point being that any medical doctor, if he had these 2 guys come in and diagnosed them, would say they've got the same problem. And he would treat them exactly the same way. Well, they both started the healing codes at the same time. One of them had his migraines heal in about 3 weeks and never come back. The other one, his migraines went away in about 13 months and never came back. So wait a minute. How come it took one guy 13 months when it only took one guy 3 weeks? What was going wrong for him? And the answer is absolutely nothing, because they did not have the same problem. They only had the same symptoms. Their problems were night and day different. The gentleman whose headaches went away in 3 weeks shook my hand, said, "Hey, Alex, thank you so much. Man, this is so great not to have migraines. Wonderful. Thank you. See you later." All right? Which was great. The guy who healed in 13 months, ladies and gentlemen, he was weeping. He said, "You don't understand. This hasn't healed my migraines. This has healed my life in a way that I thought nothing ever would or could." Their sources were as different and not as night and day. And we need to be focused on this issue of being stuck or not stuck, on how working on sources is very much different from working on symptoms. To me, 2 questions come up with this to see if you're really stuck or not. Okay? Number 1 is, are you fully committed to the path of love? I mean, you have made a vow before God. You meant it from the marrow of your bone, from the bottom of your heart, and you made a vow. You took a pledge. You made an intention for the rest of my life, as best I can, I'm going to live in love for the next 30 minutes, every 30 minutes. And it's not based on the results I get. I'm committed to this for life, no matter what comes. Have you committed to that? Okay? If not, go watch the Greatest Principle teaching on the YouTube, and then see, are you willing to commit to that? So, question number 1 is, are you fully committed to that? If not, you're probably stuck. We had one of the greatest presidential speeches ever in the history of America. The main part of the speech was, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And I believe there's a great deal of truth in that, okay? When we live on the path of love, we work the way we're supposed to work. Our body, our mind, it all works the way God made it and the way it's supposed to work. When we are choosing fear or seek pleasure and avoid pain or what's in it for me, we malfunction. That's the way our brains are built. It's constantly scanning for, are we choosing fear-based decisions and thoughts or love-based decisions and thoughts? And if it's fear-based decisions and thoughts, then we go into panic mode and we start to break down, which starts a negative domino effect. If we are truly committed to love, even though we'll never do it right, and I make more mistakes every day than anybody, but I'm still committed to it, and when I make a mistake, I get back up on the horse, I start again, okay, I messed that up. Now for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to do love as best I can, and then go, okay? If you are fully committed to love, and you feel stuck, then recommit to love. If, but only if, you truly mean it from the bottom of your heart, and not for 6 months to see how it goes for the rest of your life, no matter what. Recommit, okay? Make sure you are committed to God, to yourself, to others that you love and care about, to love in the present moment as best I can, no matter what. Now, if you are committed to that, or if you recommit to that, then ladies and gentlemen, in my experience and professional opinion, I believe you are never stuck. If that's where you're living, you can't get stuck. Because love is the power that drives all of the possible positive outcomes that you would want in your life, including health in your body and having positive thoughts instead of negative, positive feelings instead of negative feelings. Okay? That's where it comes from. So if that's where you're living, then even when you experience pain, it's love-based pain. There's no path with no pain. Both the love path and the fear path have pain. There's no way with no pain. The question is it going to be meaningful pain, love, or meaningless pain, fear-based? Okay? But if you have made a commitment to love and you are still committed there, no matter how many times you're messing up, no matter how many sins you're committing, you fill in the blank there. That doesn't matter. As long as you are staying committed to the path of love in your heart, your mind, your intention, even if you can't carry it out right, I believe you are never stuck. You may be at a place of where you're supposed to learn something before going on to the next higher place in your life. But as long as you are there in your mind and heart, in overall intention, you're never stuck. It's part of the plan. There's an ancient manuscript that says all things work together for good to those who love God, who love the Lord, and are called according to his purpose, which I believe is love. So if you are there, I believe you can never get stuck. So that means if you think you're stuck, you're believing a lie and don't buy it. So you always assume, if you're on the love path, that you're never stuck. That is part of it. I've got a lesson to learn. It's going to start back up here in a little bit. There's a reason for where I am. There's a purpose, etc. So there's no reason to worry or fret about this not working or being stuck. You're not. As long as you're on that path. If you're really stuck, the only way that's possible is on the fear path. So that means make that vow and commitment, get on the other path, and things should start moving shortly. But again, when you're dealing with sources like these spiritual laws are, for one person that's 3 weeks, for another person it's 13 months. Tell one last story and then I'll be done here. I had a client named Patty Crichton. And Patty had built the largest travel agency in the world from scratch. She was on the cover of travel agent magazines and all kinds of stuff. And she got sick to the point that she couldn't work was in horrible, excruciating pain all day, every day, basically lived in a bed sheet because she reacted to so many different things that she was allergic to. She had severe autoimmune illnesses. And she started working with me, okay? And I taught her some of this stuff, and she committed to it and was doing healing codes and stuff like that. And pretty much every day for 6 months, Patty would call crying in horrible, terrible pain. I mean, it was just gut-wrenching for me. And I know it was way worse for her. And how come this isn't working for me? How come I'm stuck? How come it works for other people? Did you lie about the other people that you said got better? And I mean, it was just all kinds of stuff over 6 months. And I was amazed at her tenacity. I think 9 out of 10 people would have given up way before 6 months. But anyway, at the end of 6 months, I got a call from her, and I knew it was her, but she sounded totally different. And the skies had parted, and everything about Patty had healed overnight all at the same time, which is unusual. Usually it's a little bit along. And then she started calling me every day, but it was totally different. It's, hey, Alex, you'll never guess what I'm doing. I'm out rollerblading, or I'm out swimming this channel from one island to another, or I'm parasailing, or it was unbelievable. And she said, I don't feel better than I felt before I got sick. I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. Well, so what was going on? Why did it take so long for Patty and was so hard? Well, we found out. Before Patty started working with me, she had gone in and been tested, and the doctor who tested her had written on her chart in his own handwriting, this lady has more heavy metals in her body than anyone I have ever seen. After Patty finished working with me, after that 6 weeks when she was feeling great again, she really didn't think about it much, but she went in to be tested again, and it was either a different doctor or he didn't remember her or something, because after the same test, the doctor wrote on her chart, this lady has the least concentration of heavy metals in her body I have ever seen. Well, that's why she was feeling bad. I mean, when mercury comes out of your bones or fat into your bloodstream, you are gonna feel bad. Or lead or arsenic or, 100 different things that we have stored in our body in different places, okay? That's called a healing response. So what Patty thought was being stuck and not working was actually every single day working in, not just working, but working in a miraculous almost way, because lots of doctors say you can't get those heavy metals out of your body once they're in there. Now, I disagree with that, but there's a lot of them that say that and do believe it. So what Patty was having happen was beyond incredible for her physical health. So every day she was saying, this is not working, I'm stuck, are you lying about other people getting better? I mean, even accusing other people of very horrible things. Well, she was wrong about every bit of it. The whole time she was healing, and healing drastically. When you're on the path of love, you can just assume that that's what's happening, whether what you feel is pleasure or pain. That means no worry, no fretting. You just keep going, keep putting one foot in front of the other. The next 30 minutes, now the next 30 minutes, now the next 30 minutes, and know over time, I'm going to go up and up and up and up and have exactly what is best for me to happen for me. So, if you have questions about being stuck, don't forget those two things. Have you really, truly vowed and committed to love in the present moment no matter what, or have you not? Do you maybe need to recommit, okay? And if you are on the path of fear, and you're pretty sure you're on the path of fear, you have not been able to fully commit. You've not felt that in your heart from the bottom of your heart. You may have said the words, but you sure didn't feel like you were really doing it. Then it's almost guaranteed you're on the fear path, so you need to commit. And when you do, that should get you unstuck in whatever time is right for you. So that's it for me, Johanna.
All right. Thank you, Alex. So this is a time for those of you on the phone, if you want to comment or ask a question, you would press *2 on your phone and raise your hand. And if you're on the web, you can just simply type it in, and I will read that to Alex so he can answer. So we have a couple hands up, Alex. So let's go ahead. Someone from Ontario, your number ends in 5920. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is Lori calling.
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad. I really related to the woman spoke of in the YouTube video, and just spoke of now Patty. And I was, all of a sudden, I think it's maybe the stress of COVID that caused my body to do a lot of things. A series of things happened, and I became immobile. And so I've been getting custom codes to address some of the things and using Trilogy for health. And I started to have success, and I even told Johanna about it a few weeks ago. And then after that, it's starting to reverse again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering, and ever since June, I participated in the custom Trilogy for patients, which is about wrong goals.
Uh-huh.
And so I've been mindful of that, and I feel like I'm trying to do that, but I've had a few very serious moments of weakness where I just wanted to end it all, and I just, I think I'm committed, but then when I get these moments of weakness, I get on a fear path.
Right.
I mean, to recommit again, or?
Well, I think it's always a good idea to recommit again. I recommit again every single day because every day I'm challenged all over again by my internal wanting pleasure and not wanting pain. So, and sometimes I'll recommit several times, okay? Just make sure you mean it when you do it. But in every type of healing, I mean, even in standard Western medicine, in hospitals, where they do surgery and chemo and stuff like that, in every type of healing, including natural, of course, there is that phenomenon where for a certain percentage of people, they feel worse before they feel better. That's what Patty had. That happens many times on medications and surgeries. In standard medicine, you feel worse before you feel better. That's true in energy medicine. In standard, it's called a Hertzheimer's reaction. In natural, most people call it a healing crisis. I call it a healing response. But that happens, and I would guess that happens to you. And what I would also ask you to keep in mind is that you did not get to where you are in your life with the problems that you started with in a month or 3 months or even 10 years, and not even in your lifetime. It's generationally. There's that thing about breaking the cycle. We talk about breaking the cycle, which is a generational cycle. I think almost every issue every person deals with is breaking a generational cycle. It's unbelievable. I used to think it was maybe 10%. I think it's 90% now. And the way that happens is, let's say you have 100,000 memories related to self-worth. And you do some work with Trilogy or something else, and you have 10,000 of them heal because they're all connected together. So you don't have to work on one specifically for it to heal. The healing can come from healing another one. So you have 10,000 heal out of 100,000, and you have this whoosh feeling, and maybe joy and peace, and your body feels better and lighter and everything else. And maybe that goes on a few days, a few weeks, whatever. But then you start feeling worse again, Well, you didn't reverse in your healing. It's just that you've still got 10,000 memories related to the problems. It's just not all healed yet, and it never was. So that's why you just say, okay, if I'm on the love path, I am assuming that this is all part of the plan. It's all the way it's supposed to be. That even the pain is part of moving forward in my life, or maybe I need to learn something from it, or I'm at a rest station that I'm about to start going, in a day or a week or a month forward again, whatever. Because when you're living in love, that's the best you can do. That's the magic pill. That's the thing that we all want in our lives, okay? So if that's where you are, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Just make sure that you're not on the fear path, okay? But being on the fear path means you are not committed to the love path. That's basically the definition of it. It doesn't mean you don't mess up. I mess up all the time, but I'm still committed long term, okay? But understand, it's like peeling an onion. Your problems are like an onion. You peel off a piece and you feel better, but you've still got half an onion there that you got to peel those layers off too before you get to the bottom of that issue. So just understand how it works and that you're working on sources, not symptoms. And yeah, recommit. Just make sure you are still long-term committed to living in love as best you can in the present moment for the next 30 minutes, no matter what the results are, and that it's not a test for you. This is for life, no matter what. And if you do that, you're on the love path. You really are. But you got to mean it. You got to mean it. That's the only if, is when you commit and make that vow, you mean it. I really am planning to live this way for the rest of my life, no matter what. And if you can say that honestly and feel it in your heart, then you're committed, which to me means you're on that path, no matter how much you mess up.
Just one other quick question.
Yeah.
What does getting a custom code look like then? Does it have to be about being on the path or about the thing bothering me the most?
It's all of the above. It's all of the above. That energy, like doing a trilogy, it's 5 minutes of activating different energy mechanisms in the body and putting new energy into the body. Well, some of that is mental, some of that is physical, some of it is spiritual. It's all of the above, but it works on, whatever's needed. The body uses what it needs, where it needs it, and the mind and the spirit. So, yeah, it's all of that.
Okay, so when I talk to Johanna after you're gone, then I address, the physical condition?
Yeah, that's fine. You can start with the symptom, but what you're always working on is the source.
Okay. Yeah, it's great to get that.
Okay.
I had a lot of trauma through my life and a lot of memories that need healing.
Well, bless your heart. Don't give up. You will get there. Hope didn't ever think she would get there, but okay. You can.
Well, hope gives me hope.
Oh, great. That'll mean the world to her. I will tell her that right when I get off this call, and that will mean the world to her. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We have a couple more hands up, Alex.
All right.
Okay, so this is from Glenn in California, and your line is open.
Hey, Johanna. Hi, Dr. Alex. How you guys doing?
Great, Glenn. How are you today?
Doing wonderful. That was a great teaching. Loved it.
Well, thanks.
Out of it. It was like one of the longest stuff that I used to do where you did the whole teaching. I love it. My question is...
Go ahead.
The more we have of you, the better it is, Doc.
Well, go ahead, Glenn.
Thank you. The question I have today is, when you had this woman that you were working with as a client, and there was a long time where she felt she wasn't getting results, and you talked about having iron or heavy metals in the body. Did working and doing the energy healing, did that help get the metals out of the body, or did she get the metals out of the body and then she healed? What was the sequence on that?
The healing codes were the only thing she was doing. So, according to her doctor said, I have no explanation for this. You know, she told him she'd been doing these, you know, crazy things with her hands called the healing codes. Of course, he didn't believe in that one bit. But he did say, but you hadn't been doing anything else. So I have no explanation for it. And Patty's explanation was 100%. It's from doing the codes. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to know that.
And by the way, we've had other people be tested pre and post with similar results. On heavy metals, that is.
So she was tested for heavy metals before she started working with you, and the doctor said she had huge heavy metals, and then working with you, and she made her breakthrough, and then she went to see the doctor, and the doctor said no more heavy metals.
He said the least he had ever seen on the test. Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. I just wanted to check that sequence.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Dr. Alex.
I love you, Glenn. God bless.
All right, and we have one more question, and I believe it's Marilyn.
Yes, it is. Good morning, Johanna. Good morning, Alex.
Hi, Marilyn.
This one, yeah, I really have enjoyed this particular spiritual law. Got so much out of it, but I really feel that these last several are like pieces that come together.
Uh-huh.
This week for myself and my family has been very high stress.
Okay.
And have got through it because of being able to heal.
Uh-huh.
And on Monday night there was a trauma for my husband's family. It affected the whole family, and before my husband goes to work in the morning, I do a trilogy with him, and I said, this morning we're going to do a Dying Grace trilogy for your whole family.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
And I do feel an energy healing, but when we were doing this one, we were nearly through, I just felt this incredible flood of energy go through my body.
Mm-hmm.
And a tremendous sense of peace because of the situation.
Well, I've felt that many, many times, and I still feel it regularly. I'm not going to say daily, but it may be daily. And Marilyn, it's simply because Dying Grace is plugging into the spiritual realm, and that's where miracles happen. And the spiritual realm is the realm of the heart, which we call the unconscious, which is the one that's 1,000,000 times more powerful. So even in our body, the spiritual component is so much more powerful than anything else that you would have to call it controlling. So when you do Dying Grace, you're plugging in to the power both in you and outside of you that does miracles all the time. And I think that's what you felt. I think that's what I feel when I feel that, when I ask for Dying Grace in some situation in my life, which I do usually every single day. I did it 3 times yesterday that I know of, okay? And so that's beautiful to hear, and I agree. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, and so, yeah, just thank you again for doing these spiritual law videos, because it's just like all these pieces, it just came together. I don't know, give me an understanding or a pathway maybe. Maybe that would be the way. It sort of gives me a much clearer pathway to walk.
Well, Marilyn, it's my pleasure. I wake up every morning not believing I get to do what I do and call it work. So it is for sure my pleasure.
No, it's very much. As I said, the stress levels of this week have just been incredible, but I've come through them.
Yeah.
By continually healing.
Yeah. Well,
thank you.
I love you, Marilyn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Johanna?
Hi, Alex. Sorry, I was muted.
You messed up. I messed up all the time. I love it when you mess up every once in a while.
So that's it for the hands up.
Okay.
Alex, and there's no questions on the web. So
Okay.
great.
All right. Love you, everybody. Have a wonderful week. See you next week. Love you, Johanna.